They actually went and did it. Arsenal women have beaten the massive favourites, Barcelona in the UEFA Women's Champions League final, 1-0 in Lisbon. This is my instant reaction. Hello and welcome to Arsenal Unfiltered. Get in. Arsenal women have won the Champions League final against Barcelona. I am excited. It is literally just finished. I'm still watching on my TV here. To the left of me, the girls have not even lifted the trophy yet. At the time that I'm recording this, it has literally just finished, and I am so happy for them. This year, I'm not going to sit here and profess to be someone who's followed the Arsenal women's team for a very long time, but I have tried to take more interest in them this year. I've watched a few games, and I'm just delighted for them because it's been a really interesting season from so many points of view. Not really being in that league title race, Jonas Edevel leaving, Rene Slegeers coming in and setting a new tone, a new style, a new way of playing, and then just different stories on the pitch. Chloe Kelly coming back, and now this. Rene Slegeers deserves all the credit in the world because there was a bad vibe around Arsenal women at the start of this season when Jonas Edevel, not because of Jonas Edevel, but when that was all starting to go wrong and coming a bit loose. And we have just, for context, Arsenal were huge outside favourites of this game. Chelsea have just wrapped up the Women's Super League, and that team have stormed through kind of success in England and have done a fantastic job and have been the team to beat in England. This Barcelona team beat them 8-2, and this would have been their third consecutive Champions League. Arsenal were huge outsiders for this game, and they have just put on a defensive display that was absolutely brilliant. Now, 20 shots for Barcelona to Arsenal's 8 in that game. They had 68% of the possession, whereas Arsenal only had 32%. And there's just a couple of Arsenal players who I have to shout out. Daphne van Domselaar, especially in the first half, was punching everything that came into that box. Absolutely brilliant. In the second half, it was Leah Williamson just winning every header. I mean, her defensive stats must be incredible. It felt like she won every header that came into the box. She cleared so many, 14 clearances. Jesus Christ, that's incredible. She did a fantastic job. Caitlin Ford and Katie McCabe, I thought they were really good. In fact, all down the wings, I thought we were really impressive. Emily Fox as well on the right hand side, and that's where we threatened in the first half. I felt it was quite even in the first half. Watching the two teams, and I felt the momentum shifted backwards and forwards, sometimes with Barcelona, sometimes with Arsenal, but in the second half all the momentum was with Barcelona, all of it, and we survived. Let's put it bluntly, we survived. The girls did a really good job, and then we just got that moment. And Rene Slegeers, again, you deserve so much credit because she brought on Stina Blackstenius and Bethany Mead on sort of the 67th, 68th minute, I want to say. And it was not long after that, 5 minutes in fact after that, when Stina Blackstenius finished. A really good goal. Credit to Caldente for her role in the build-up. And these scenes that I'm watching right now are just fantastic. I think there's 9,000 Arsenal fans out there right now in Lisbon, so they are going to be having a just wonderful time tonight. First of all, what a stadium that is. It looks really good, and I'm sure they are going to enjoy that city this evening. It looks like just an incredible scene, and it's something that these players really do deserve. I do think that it's been a long time that they've been without a Champions League trophy. 2007 was the last time that Arsenal Women's won the Champions League, and oh my word, these scenes are just fantastic. This is a really raw instant reaction, guys, so I hope that's okay with you. yeah, I'm overwhelmed really, because you know, it, we have developed this kind of one club mentality, and the women's team have become. We've always been a club that really heavily invests in the women's team, and we pioneered it. Before the kind of Women's Super League, we really pioneered that, and we had some incredible players, and we were really dominant. Of course, since more money and focus has come into the women's game, our dominance has subsided a little bit. But it's been such a long journey in the women's game, and the one club mentality that Arsenal have had, bringing the women into the Emirates over the last few years, it's really raised their profile, and I'm just so happy to see such a large following out there for the girls, supporting the girls. Oh, they got Alessia Russo on the interviews now. Supporting the girls when they're doing this, and this is simply the pinnacle of the sport, isn't it? The Champions League is the highest level, whether that is the men's or the women's game. The Champions League final is the highest level game, and I have to admit, I thought the game was quality. I am one for, kind of drift. If it's not a game, and I'll be honest, I'll hold my hands up. If it's not Arsenal men, I am one for drifting in and out of games. But I was hooked by this game entirely. I thought it was really quality. One thing that the commentators said that I had no idea about, and I couldn't believe when they said it. Apparently, Barcelona had 4 Ballon d'Or winners on the pitch at the start of this game. Incredible. So to stop them scoring is just absurd. Absurd. I'm going to pull up some of Barcelona's recent games. 6-0 against Athletic Bilbao, 9-0 against Betis, 4-0 against Deportivo, 2-0 against Levante, 4-1 against Chelsea, 4-1 against Chelsea, 5-1 against Sevilla, 6-0 against Atletico Madrid. These girls who play for Barcelona score an inordinate amount of goals. Their goal difference in the Liga F is plus 112. Arsenal just kept a clean sheet. I don't think that you can undersell that in any way, shape or form. It is quite simply a remarkable achievement just to keep a clean sheet, but then to go and get the goal as well is just fantastic. They've scored 44 goals in 11 games in the Women's Champions League this year, Barcelona. So to keep them out is just wild. And I'm so happy for Arsenal right now. For context, Arsenal have only scored 26, so you can see the different styles. Look, I think Arsenal dug so deep in this game. That's the thing I want. If you want to take one thing from my instant reaction, it's how deep the ladies dug in the second half and how impressive their defensive display was. Not only were they really digging deep and defending super well, but actually there were certain times when it would have been easy to just rush and boot the ball long, but they didn't do that. They kept the ball. They managed to control the tempo, control the momentum of the game, not just give the ball straight back to Barcelona. And they did a fantastic job of kind of managing the really difficult scenario they were in, because it sounded tense in there. And the Barcelona fans had made plenty of noise. They were there in their thousands. They'd made plenty of noise all game, and I thought they did such a good job. One particular highlight, Mariona Caldente broke away with the ball and then managed a fantastic piece of skill to dart between 2 Barcelona players and earn a free kick. It was a free kick. It was a fantastic moment and just showed how wise and clever some of these players are. Caldente especially, against her former club, her 4th Champions League now. Just delighted. A huge step forward for Arsenal women's team, and buzzing. Really, really pleased for them. It looks like it's going to be fantastic scenes all evening. I think I already did my players. I spoke about Van Domselaar, Katie McCabe, Ford. Yeah, I mean, there's so many players that you could talk about. Fantastic finish from Blackstenius as well. Really, really composed in that moment where it could have been. It could have been easy to snatch at it, I guess. It would have been, right? But she fires it across the goalkeeper. And it's a really, really good moment from her. So, yeah, that's it. Arsenal have won the Champions League, the Women's Champions League. Quite incredible. I think the reaction will go on and on and on. Yeah. Brilliant. So happy for them. So happy for Rene Slegeers. And, all the players will get tons of credit. She deserves so much credit. She has this group together. She has this group working for each other. And she has this group playing a quality of football that really is to be admired, and have just pulled off an absurd upset. Arsenal have won the Champions League. Arsenal women have won the Champions League. Absolutely delighted for them. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Very raw, very quick reaction, but just wanted to jump on and say, having watched the game, talk about it, it was absolutely superb, and just so happy for them. So happy for them, and I hope that they have many, many beers and champagne in Lisbon tonight. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for listening to this kind of more raw reaction. Hope you enjoy these sort of pieces, and thank you for following. Thank you for listening. I'll speak to you again very, very soon.